Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a reformer class for you using the box as a prop. It will be on the floor for most of the class for the prop. So if you do have a reformer that's closer to the floor, technically you don't need one. If you have like yoga blocks or something you want to kneel on to give you a little more height, you can kneel on some yoga blocks. But again, if you have a reformer that's closer to the floor, technically you don't need a box. If you have the one that's higher up, you can still use the box on the side. You'll just be a little off kilter. We are going to get started with just a normal warm up with abs. So one heavy spring, one light spring on our reformers. Foot bars are going to start down, and then I'm going to lie down onto my reformer. Now, when I get down, I already have my box set up where I want it later. It's on my right side of my carriage. It's flush up against my carriage, and it's flush up against my reformer and flush up against my foot bar. So feel free to just put your boxes on the right side. Again, one heavy, one light spring. We're starting with some abs for our warm-ups. So we're gonna reach behind us, grab our short loops into our hands. Once we get a hold of the short loops, arms are gonna go straight up to the ceiling. Hands are right over our shoulders. We're right into a neutral spine. And then I'm going to pick my knees up into a tabletop position. I have my legs zipped together, starting with ab curls. On an exhale, we're going to press and curl ourselves right up into an abdominal curl. And then we're going to inhale, return back down with control. Again, I'm going to exhale, nod curl to my bra line. And then I'm inhaling to return back down, just keeping my legs zipped together. Exhale, press, curl. Inhale again to return back down. Let's go ahead and just do a few more. We're holding our neutral spine the entire time. We're gonna do two more. Exhale, nod, curl. And then last one. Now, once we come down, we're just gonna pause at the bottom, keep our knees in a tabletop position, and we're gonna add in. So on an exhale, I'm gonna press curl myself back up into an abdominal curl. I'm gonna hold myself here. On an inhale, I'm gonna dip my right toes down towards the floor. I'm gonna exhale, lift that knee back up. Then I'm gonna dip my left toes down, and I'm gonna exhale to lift. So I'm inhaling to dip my toes down, exhaling to lift back up. I'm keeping my knees bent at that 90-degree angle the entire time. My pelvis just stays nice and still, engaging my obliques to pull each leg back up. And then just a reminder, if the necks are an issue, the heads can go down. Inhale, dip, exhale, lift. Let's do one more right, one more left. Then when our left leg comes back up, we're gonna pause. We're gonna inhale, dip both toes down. We're scooping into the low abs to lift. Again, inhale, dip, exhale, lift. Arms and wrists stay long. Neutral spine again if the necks are an issue. Heads are going down. Dip down, lift up. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. All right, arms up, heads down, relax our feet. Can just give ourselves a nice little stretch. We can either sway our knees, we can hug them, we can stretch them, whatever feels best in our bodies. And then we're going to continue with a few more things for abs. So arms are gonna go back up to the ceiling, hands are right over our shoulders. Knees go up into our tabletop position again. Legs are zipped together. One curl on an exhale. We're gonna press curl back to our bra lines, pause. I'm gonna inhale, reach my right leg out to a challenging level. Exhale to pull the right leg in. Left leg extends, and then exhale to pull back in. Inhale out. And exhale back, arms, wrists stay long. Again, try to stay in the curls. As always, if the necks are an issue, the heads go down, engaging those obliques to pull each leg back. And let's do 3. Last one. And then we go out with both legs to a challenging level. We scoop into our low abs to pull back in. Inhale out, make sure we hold our neutral spines as those knees come back in. Inhale to extend, exhale, pull. Let's do 3, scoot to pull in for 2. Last one, arms up, heads down, relax our feet. And then again, we can just give ourselves a nice little stretch. Now we have 2 more things for our core, and then we will be done with our warm-up. So let's extend our arms back up to the ceiling, knees up into our tabletop position, legs are zipped together, one curl. I'm gonna press curl myself back up, hold, both legs go straight up to the ceiling. I'm gonna inhale, lower the right leg straight down, exhale to lift up, left leg lower straight down, exhale, lift, again engaging our obliques to pull each leg back up for 3, 2, last one. Then we're gonna lower both legs on an inhale, scoop into our low abs to lift. Now reminder, all low abs, no low back. If you feel it in your low back, shorten your range of motion, or you can bend your knees slightly lower, scoop into the low abs to lift for 2, last 1. Bend the knees, arms up, heads down, relax our feet, and then we can give ourselves again another stretch. Now, the last thing that we'll do here will just be some arms. The only thing we're doing will be tricep press. So we can start with the elbows bent into our sides, palms are rotated towards our foot bars, neutral spines, our knees go back up into a tabletop position, legs are zipped together. I'm just gonna exhale, press my palms down to the mat, and then I'm inhaling to bend, exhale, press, inhale, bend, legs are just staying zipped together. Now, if you would like to add in any leg extensions or ab curls with these, you can go ahead and do so. You can do single legs, double legs, you can hold a curl. Again, that's all up to you. I'm gonna keep my head down today. Exhale, press, inhale, bend, wrists stay long the entire time. It's up to you if you have long fingers or fists, just make sure that your wrists don't bend. We're gonna do 3. All right, now in this last one, we're gonna pause at our hips. I'm gonna rotate my palms towards my body. They need to stay rotated to my body. I'm gonna bend my elbows so my palms stay rotated towards each other, towards my body, and I'm gonna press my palms down. Bend and press. So same movement, but the palms stay rotated towards each other, towards you the entire time. You should feel your biceps engaging a little more here. Bend and exhaling as we press those palms back down. Okay, I'm gonna go for 2 and 1. Now when I bend my elbows, I'm just gonna relax my feet back down out in front of me, hang my straps back up onto the pegs, and then we're gonna sit off to the right side of our reformers, to the boxes. Now, we are staying on that heavy light spring. We're going to put our foot bars up to the starting position, and then we're gonna stand up onto our boxes and we're facing the foot bars. Now, when we step up, my feet are at the front left corner of my of my box. I'm gonna rotate slightly, just ever so slightly to the right side of the room. So a little rotation to the right, our whole body should be rotated slightly to the right side. Now, I'm gonna keep my right foot where it's at. My left toes, balls of my feet, go onto the shoulder block that's closest to me. The toe should be curled under. If this is too heavy, take off the yellow spring. We're gonna do lunges. So arms are gonna stay at my sides to start. I'm gonna bend my right knee. I'm gonna hinge forward. I'm gonna reach my arms forward as I hinge into a lunge, and then I'm gonna push into my right foot to stand back up. So the idea is when I bend my right knee, I'm gonna try to straighten my left leg fully. And then when I stand back up, my left knee bends slightly to let the carriage come all the way back in. So bend your right knee, push all the way out with the left, and then stand back up. Now, if you need to hang on to your foot bar for balance, you can hang onto the foot bar for balance. I always like to find a spot and I focus on the spot. Bend and press. So we're just bending and extending our right leg. Our chest should go down when we hinge forward and then back up. So almost getting our chest parallel to the floor. We're gonna go for 3 more. 2 Now on this last one, we're gonna hold ourselves here. I'm gonna take my hands to my hips. I'm gonna bend my left knee and push. My right leg stays in the same spot. Now I'm just bending and extending my left leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press, bend, press. Abs are in. We're staying hinged slightly forward. Grab onto those foot bars if you need to. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay. Stand back up. Take your left foot off. It should go right next to your right foot. Left foot stays, right foot now goes onto the carriage. Same spot as the left. Toes are, toes are curled, heel is lifted up high. One side might be a little more challenging to balance on than the other. Okay, same series, lunging. We're bending the left knee, we're pushing all the way out, and then we're standing back up. Bend, sink into that lunge, and then back up. Again, I want your chest to almost go parallel to the floor when we sink, and then we're standing all the way back up, pushing into your left foot to get back up. The foot bar is here if you need to hang on to it for stability. Keep going. Let's do 5, 3, 2. All right, on this last one, we hold. Ready? Bend your right leg and push, bend and push. I'm taking my hands to my hips. If you need to hang on to your foot bar, you can. Keep the left knee bent. You're just bending and extending your right leg. Abs are in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bring it all the way back in, step onto the box, and then we're gonna take off that light spring. So now we're just on a heavy spring. We're gonna kneel on our boxes, facing the foot bars. When we kneel, we're gonna be in a 4-point kneeling position, so shoulders over the hands, hips are right over the knees. I'm gonna take my left foot to the shoulder block next to me, and I'm gonna pull my carriage slightly out so now my knees are in line with each other. Now from here, since our carriage is lifted a little higher than our box, we're externally rotated, so I'm lifting my left knee slightly to the left side, and I'm rotating my hips just slightly to the left side. We're gonna push the carriage all the way out with our left leg, bend to come in, exhale, push, inhale back. Squeezing that glute as we go out, and then just resisting the spring to come back in. If you need to make that easier, you can always do a medium spring. If you need to get off of your wrists, you can drop down onto your forearms like me. Exhale out, inhale back. And I'm gonna stay on my forearms just because my wrists are bothering me today. And we are gonna do pikes on the wrist next. Exhale away, inhale back. Let's do 4. Squeeze your glutes. And 1. Okay, once we come back in, I'm setting my knee down. I'm just letting my carriage come all the way back in. We're going back to just a light spring. I'm taking off my heavy. Now, technically, the light spring is gonna be a little more challenging for core, so if you need to make it easier, go to a medium spring instead of the light. I'm gonna curl my left toes, and then I'm gonna push my left leg out. I'm rotated still slightly to the carriage, slightly to the left side. From here, I'm gonna push into my palms. I'm gonna take my right foot, hook it behind my left, stay rotated slightly to the carriage with your pelvis, tuck the pelvis, hike the hips, come in for a pike, push out, tuck, pike, push out. We're gonna do 6 more. Exhale, lift, inhale back out. Use those obliques. We're halfway there. Pike and out for 3 and 1. Woo, okay. Come down, let our carriages come all the way in. We're gonna change to one medium spring if you're not already on it. rotate towards the opposite side. Now, we're gonna do some push-ups here. If you would like it a little heavier, you can push your box a little further forward. That does make it heavier. If you stay back, it's gonna make it a little lighter. So I just pushed my box, I don't know, like 3-ish inches a little further forward. I'm gonna take my right hand onto the shoulder block next to me, back into a 4-point kneeling position. My right elbow is wide, shoulders, hips are parallel to the floor. I'm gonna exhale, push the carriage out with my right arm, and I'm gonna bend wide to come back in. I exhale to push, I inhale to bend wide. I'm drawing my abs in to my back, eyes looking to the floor, and I'm lengthening through the crown of my head. My chest stays in the same spot the entire time. So I'm just going to a fully extended right arm, and then I'm bending my elbow wide to come back in. We're gonna do 3 more like that. And then last one. All right, now once I come back in, I'm gonna pause in. I'm extending my left leg behind me. My toes are touching the floor. When I push the carriage out, I'm gonna lift my left leg up. When I come back and I tap my toes. Exhale, push, lift, tap the toes. Should be a little more challenging here for that core. Squeeze your glute to lift. Again, abs are in, eyes are looking down. Exhale out, wide to come back in. Shoulders, hips should be staying parallel to the floor. 3 more. And then last one. Out and in. Okay, set your knee back down. We're gonna take our box to the other side, and then we're doing the same thing on the other side. So we have a heavy and a light spring. I'm taking off the medium. Again, if that's too heavy for you, you can always go to just one heavy spring. When I stand on my box, I'm to the very front right corner, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and rotate my toes slightly to the left side. I'm gonna take my right foot to the shoulder block that's closest to me. And then from here, we're going into those lunges. So I'm gonna bend my left knee, sink into a lunge, and then I'm standing back up. Bend, sink into that lunge, and then I'm standing back up and trying to redo my hair here as well. Bend, sink, and then back up. I'm reaching my arms overhead. And when I sink, I hinge forward with my chest. Push, and then back up. I'm pushing into my left foot to find that stability, to get back up, and then sink down. And I'm not gonna be picky with breath either. You can either exhale on the way out or exhale on the way in. It's up to you for this series. Let's do 3. All right, on this last one, we're gonna hold out. I like my hands on my hips for this one. Keep that left leg, bend your right, extend the right, bend right, and extend. Again, keep those abs in. Keep that little hinge forward, bend, press, bend, press. Left leg stays in the same spot. Use your foot bar if you need to balance. 5, 2, 1, and in. Okay, we're gonna step our right foot back onto the box. Same thing on the other side. Left foot goes high up onto that shoulder block. And then when we're ready, we're gonna bend our right knee, sink into that lunge, stand all the way back up. Bend, sink, back up again. Bring that chest, down. One side is definitely gonna feel a little more challenging to balance on than the other. Again, breath is up to you. You can either exhale out or exhale in for these. Trying to get a straight left leg when I push out and resist in. we're gonna do 3, 2, last one, we hold. Now we bend the left and extend. Right leg stays in the same spot. Again, hang on to your foot bar. If you need a little extra stability, abs are into your backs. Keep that little hinge forward. Bend and extend. 6, 3, 2, 1. Whew, and in. Okay, we're gonna kneel on our box, face the same direction. We're facing the foot bars. I'm gonna take off that light spring. Again, we're going into glutes. If it was too heavy on the last side, go to a medium spring. I'm gonna take my right foot onto the shoulder block next to me. Again, in a little external rotation, so my knee is lifted and my toes, knees, and hips are pointed slightly to the right side. We're gonna go out and in. Now again, I drop down onto my left forearm for the last one, just to get off my wrists a little longer. I'm gonna drop back down. So you can either be on your left forearm or you can stay on your palms, up to you. Bend and exhale, press again. Squeezing that glute. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and in. Back into our pikes. So light spring, again, if that light spring is too challenging, then a medium setting for springs. We have 8 pikes. So I'm taking my hands back onto the 2 front corners of my box. I'm gonna push my carriage out with my right leg. I'm gonna push into my palms, take my left foot, hook it behind my right, rotate slightly to the right side, tuck pike 8 times, use those left obliques. Lift as high as you can. Halfway there. And 1. Whew, okay, come on down. Bring those carriages all the way in. Change to a medium spring if you're not already on it. I'm taking my light spring off, so 1 medium, and then we're going into push-ups. Now again, if you want it a little heavier, I'm just scooting my box a little further forward. I'm going like 4 maybe inches a little further forward just to get it a little heavier. Left hand is gonna go into the shoulder block next to you. Shoulders, hips are parallel to the floor, so make sure we're not rotated to the left side. Shoulders, hips rotated to the floor, abs are in, ready, out and in. So you're just extending your left arm and then bending your elbow wide to come back in. Again, I don't want your torso to rotate when you push. I don't want you to drop your left shoulder down. We're just going into an extension and then bend. Exhale, push. Inhale, bend wide as we come back in. Three more. And 1. All right, now once we come back in, we're gonna go ahead and pause with our carriages in. I'm gonna extend my right leg back behind me. Again, my toes are on the floor, abs are in. We push out, we lift our right leg, we tap the toes when we come in. Push, lift the leg, tap the toes to come back in. Shoulders, hips stay parallel to the floor the entire time. Again, I'm scooping into my abs. I'm lengthening through the crown of my head. Eyes look to the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bring it all the way back in. Take your hand down and then let's just stretch back into a little child's pose. So I'm just reaching my arms forward. My butt is back. The box can stay where it's at. And then we are gonna go into 2 red springs for feet and straps. Now, I have 2 rows to hook my springs onto. I'm going to the second row to make it just a little heavier for my legs. If you have 2 rows, you can either hook to the first row lighter, second row heavier. If you only have 1 row and you want to make it heavier, you can do 2 heavy springs and a light. Again, I'm just doing the 2 heavy springs on the second row. That is up to you. We're gonna lie ourselves down onto our reformers. Head rest can be up or down. I'm gonna reach behind me, grab my long loops, and they're gonna go right onto my feet. Then once I get my straps on, legs are just gonna go up as high as I can hold my neutral spine. And then I'm gonna come into my Pilates V, so my heels are together, toes are turned apart. And then legs are just gonna go down so that they're a little lower than a 45-degree angle. All right, holding our neutral spine, we're starting with frogs. I'm gonna inhale, bend my knees in for a frog, and I'm exhaling to push back out. Inhale, bend, and exhale, stretch. Again, being mindful that when I bend my knees in, I'm not collapsing into my low back. So I'm holding that neutral the entire time. Bend and exhale, stretch. Heels stay together, toes stay turned apart. Let's do 3, 2, and then last one. Now when we push out, we're gonna hold our legs out, heels stay together, toes stay turned apart. We're gonna move into our Peter Pan, starting with the right leg staying straight. So right leg is gonna open out to the side of the room. I'm gonna bend my left knee just like my frog, and then I'm gonna push both legs back center, and then I'm gonna open my left, bend my right like my frog, and I'm gonna push back center. So I can inhale to open and bend, and exhale, press. Now the idea is when that left leg opens, the right hip is gonna stay heavy, and then when the right leg opens, that left hip is gonna stay heavy. If you struggle, it helps to have the leg go higher up rather than having it go lower and out to the side. Inhale, open, and exhale, press. Again, try to keep your pelvises still the entire time. And we're staying in that external rotation. Okay, now the next time our right leg opens, we'll hold it here. You can come out of your neutral spine. Feel free to grab your straps and pull. I just want you to stretch. Okay, then push both legs back center, then open the left leg, bend the right. Feel free to come out of your neutral, and then you can pull your straps and just stretch. All right, then we'll push back center. Feet are gonna be parallel. We're finding our neutral spines again. Last thing that we're gonna do will be some leg circles. I'm gonna lower my legs a little further down, open them wide out to the sides, and just circling around and back up. So I'm going straight down, circling around, and back up. My sacrum is staying heavy, and then my pelvis just stays nice and still. Down, circle around, and back up. Last one in this direction. Then when I come up, I'm gonna pause and reverse. Feeling my adductors again, holding my neutral spine, nice big circles. All right, this will be the last one. When we come back up, we can pause, we can come out of our neutral spines. We'll bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees open wide for our butterfly stretch. As always, you can pull your straps towards you, you can push your knees away from you, whatever feels best. Stretch out those inner thighs and hips. Okay, then we can take our straps off of our feet. We'll hang them back up onto the pegs, and then we can sit ourselves off to the sides. Now, once you sit yourselves off to the sides, you are all finished with your workout. I hope you enjoyed it today. As always, thank you so much for joining me.